Had lunch. I'm good.
So, excellent. Simon's had lunch. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the latest episode of Coaching Chats. This is myself, Ryan Evenden. We have Adam, we have Julian, and we have Simon Lecuillard. Is that how you pronounce your name, Simon?
Lecuillard.
That's probably the worst pronunciation.
All right, but at least now I've learned how to spell your name twice now because I've been filling in rental applications and I put you down as a personal reference.
Oh, have you?
And
That's
I
not a
gave
good
it
idea.
a go on the first attempt and I checked it. And I was like, I've done it. I remembered there's 2 I's and 2 L's. So proud moment.
Phone calls and emails again.
What was that?
I'm gonna
Yeah,
get
you're going to start getting
emails
phone calls and emails again. Yeah. So there you go. I learned a new skill this week. I learned how to spell Simon's name without checking his Facebook account or copy and pasting. So that's good. First of all, we've been getting some great feedback about the show. My mother loves it. So I don't know.
Who's her favourite?
I think my mum's, I'll get it up actually. My mum's direct quote. It's actually quite funny. Jules.
I bet she likes Adam.
While I'm finding this, can you, you've had some feedback as well, haven't you?
Yes.
Please tell us about it.
Care to expand?
Yes. Former member of the gym who I'm sure will be back shortly. Jared Byrne is his name. He's probably our number 1 fan. I think these have about like 50 views on YouTube, and I think he's probably like 36 of them. I think he watches start to
That's
finish.
not true, actually. Those stats aren't true.
Sorry. And his compliments are full of expletives, but he likes the show a lot to translate it into non-swearing speak.
After the post of like a quote stuck on this, like next to your name.
Yeah, I got room on this wall. I can have some like quotes and fan feedback, fan love. We need a PO box for the fans to send in their.
Well, if you are a fan and you wish to send us some feedback, please send it to Simon. What's your address again? Please send it to. Please DM Simon because he likes getting messages from everyone. Hang on, I'm still trying to find my mum's. Mum messaged me a lot. Me and my mum talk heaps. I've got a good relationship with my mum. Adam, what great reviews have you heard over the week?
Oh, in regards to the videos, or
yeah.
Well, same thing. Jared always messages me to say he's enjoying it.
He's cheating on me.
Yeah.
So we have one fan.
We have one fan.
We have 2 fans.
Your mum and Jared.
Okay, I can't find the message from mum, and Jared, but my message from mum pretty much said she finds out more about the business and what's going on in my life from these talks than she does from whenever she calls me on the phone. So I was like, well, there you go. Keep tuning in, mum, and then you'll be able to actually get some, know what's going on in my life. So there you go. Good. How's everyone's week been? Gyms are back. Gyms are back. We are 2 days into gyms being back. How are we all finding it?
I've had a good week.
Simon, you weren't on last week. You made an absentee appearance.
What happened last week?
We should have watched it.
Asleep last week? Or?
Yeah, he was asleep.
We talked about what we had missed and what we're looking forward to and what we'd found hard. You want to, give us your free answers right now for us? Thank you.
So what were they?
What you've missed. Yeah, what you've missed. What you're looking forward to and what you found hard about your isolation life.
I guess, obviously, you missed the social interaction with everyone in a physical capacity. I haven't found anything hard, really.
He's just straight
quite enjoying it.
It's almost been like returned to his favourite environment, what is being at home.
Well, because I've had a good balance of doing stuff over the last few weeks, so I've kind of enjoyed it, actually. I want to maintain that.
Nice.
Sweet. And what were you excited for to get back? Get cracking on?
Start doing dips again.
Oh, the dips.
Well, you're not getting on my dip bar because I taped that up real nice.
I had to wait till I could use the one in Wembley.
That's a good point, actually. As I was leaving Freo today, I've seen the council have put up the signs, so that's good. Or was that you, Simon?
No, that was the council. They snuck in yesterday while I was there. Didn't even
Yeah,
say
wicked. Yeah, I saw that up, so that's good. Please don't use like general equipment outside, guys. It is still not allowed. So thank you to the Fremantle Council for sorting that out for us. That was excellent. All right. So today, I think. Oh no, I haven't asked the rest of you. How have you guys been this week?
I've been good. I've had a good start to the week. What I do Monday was yesterday. I did the club in the afternoon, which was good fun, good turnout. Everyone was there. Everyone bar one person brought a towel, which is
it was a full class, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was full, and only one person forgot a towel, which is part of the new regulations. So bring a towel if you're coming down. Other than that, it went really good. Everyone was in a good mood. What you were talking about before, I keep having to tell people to go away from the Freo gym. And anyone that knows me knows that I'm too nice to say anything. So I had to put on my best grumpy voice. Simon actually called me and gave me like an impression that I was supposed to do if I saw anybody out there. So I did
What's
my
the
Simon
impression?
voice. You guys got to leave. You can't use this. Can't use this communal gym space. So that's what I said.
The start of that before you started laughing actually sounded like Simon.
I think I started laughing when I told the guys off yesterday too.
Why don't you just be Julian Ward?
Yeah, why don't you just access
put your
alter
wrestling
ego?
persona on?
Yeah, I'll go out there in my spandex.
Is it only can you only be Julian Ward when you have the jacket on and the briefs on?
Yeah, and the girl ringside hyping me up.
Oh, yeah.
So if you guys want to like get a model or something to hang out at Freo and then you can hype me up, go outside.
I just saw South Korea for their soccer stadium. They filled it with sex dolls to make it look like there's people in there.
That's an idea. That's an idea. And then the last thing for this week is I've rewritten a little bit Thursday's combat class. So make sure you come down to that because that was really good last week. Numbers are a bit low, but it's the first week, so it takes a while to get into the swing of things. But it's good class. I think you'll like it. So hit me up if you're going to come down and we'll reserve your spot.
Nice. Adam, what about you, mate? How have you been going this initial week back?
Yeah, it's been good. Had a couple clients come through to Wembley yesterday. They were stoked to be back in the gym. Both of them had been working real hard through isolation, like at home through online stuff. So that certainly paid off for them. They were able to not jump straight back into what they were doing, but pretty close to where they were because they put in the work through that period. So haven't really missed a beat, which is good. And they've all been improving really well. So that's awesome. And then I trained in there yesterday as well, which was good fun. Good to be back in the gym and got to see you and Simon train as well.
Were your clients as stoked to see me as I was to see them?
I don't know.
That's enough.
I feel like the guys I had yesterday don't mind you too much.
Nah, some of the other clients just find me too intense, don't they?
Ryan's a polarizing figure, isn't he?
And
Especially at
one
5:30
lady
in the
was
morning.
like, what did she say? I was like, oh, I'd hate to be coached by him.
If you don't have haters, Ryan, you're not doing anything special.
Exactly right, my friends. That's exactly right. Not the right client for me if they can't handle the bit of the Ryan every now and again.
Exactly.
No, he grows on you
I've just been finding it really cold.
like a tumor. Yeah, it has been cold.
Mm.
Real cold.
Yeah, I've been finding it's cold. Yeah, that's the only thing I've been struggling with. Otherwise, oh my God, being back in the gym's sick. How good.
Very good.
How good. Yesterday we had, I counted it up and we had 40 people come through the gym yesterday on the Wembley.
Obviously, disclaimer, not at once.
Obviously not as once, throughout the day, yeah, obviously. But like, I was just nuts seeing all those people back. And I'm super happy with how the reuptake's gone. Everyone's jumped right back into it. We're actually full on a lot of time slots, what is not something that we actually had before COVID, what's kind of cool. So we're full on time slots. So everything that we've obviously been doing to provide value to guys during the lockdown time has obviously worked because everyone's come back and we're, chock-a-block at this point in time. So Freo, we had to announce yesterday after it filled up over the course of the weekend and Monday that we're gonna have to open an extra time slot for the afternoon guys. So now that's that's 5:30 to 6:15, 6:15 to 7. Isn't that right, Simon?
Yeah, Mondays and Wednesdays.
Mondays and Wednesdays. That's awesome. Like for something that, especially with Freo, that numbers haven't always been have been good, but they haven't always been at this level. This level's been nuts. It's been crazy. Come back to this. It's awesome. I just want to keep it going. Just want to keep the train rolling, guys. Keep the gains train going.
Choo choo. I actually had a question. Adam's the one that
go.
reads the most sciencey things. Adam might be able to answer. Because one of the clients asked me yesterday, I can't remember for the life of me who it was. But what?
You only had 8 people in there.
It was one of the 8.
Wait, not anyone's name either.
Yeah, well. The question was regarding so when you start going to the gym at say 16, 17 years old, and you get what people call noob gains, where the new stimulus, your body starts to adapt to it really quickly, and over the first kind of 3 to 6 months, you see pretty rapid results, and then it starts to slow down as you get used to all the different stimulus, and then you got to change your programs and whatnot. One of the clients asked me if a non-training period of like 3 or 4 months, like they've all gone through, would lead to another adaptation period like that mirrored noob gains, and what the science would be behind it. I couldn't answer it, so I made up a fake answer, but maybe Komatsu-san would have a real answer.
What was your fake answer, so we can either tell you if you're right or wrong or not?
Nah, I put the disclaimer that I hadn't read into the topic too much, but I said that I would have thought that it would have been the equivalent of like a really long deload period and then a program switch. So because everyone got a new program, nobody's doing exactly what they were doing before, I think. So that means that they've had basically a really long deload. They've had time to recover all the injuries, and now they've got a new stimulus, however many sessions they're doing a week going forward, and then everything's periodized. So they should get, the same, if not better results than they were getting before. But I don't know if there's more science to it that I'm not aware of. So that's an interesting question, I thought.
Adam, you can jump on that first if you like, mate.
Yeah,
you're itching to go.
I can't remember exactly what it was, but I think it's after even just like 3 to 4 weeks of doing absolutely nothing. You don't reset fully to like your so let me start again. You always, so if you have like from the newbie gains, you'll set like a new baseline. So pretty much you have that new baseline, and then if you take some time off, you won't go all the way back down to where you were when you initially started. You'll still be a little bit better off. But that doesn't mean that when you come back, you still will have like a pretty quick increase again, but it won't be to the same extent long term as your initial. So you can't just go, I'm going to train for like 3 months, take 3 months off, train for 3 months. Like it doesn't work like that. Yeah. So it's like, you'd still have rapid increase, but that would more so be like somewhat like kind of muscle memory, because you have that training foundation, so it will come back quicker. So the next time you take a break, you'll be able to bounce back quicker. But obviously the longer the break is, the harder it is to bounce back.
Interesting.
Yeah, the relearn period. Yeah, you can go from, if you've got to a certain point and then you have time off, and you go through a detraining process, you can get back to where you were quicker than it was for you to get there before.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
That's the best way of saying it, definitely.
Yeah, because you're, in terms of like your brain learning the pathways and stuff like that, your brain's already learned the pathways. It just has to relearn them.
It's pretty much like the neural pathways will stay there.
Yeah.
But the muscle will decondition. So
yeah, definitely.
It's just about,
because you have that neural pathway base, you'll be able to return to that previous performance much quicker.
Yeah,
you just have to recondition.
That's pretty much what I've noticed as well. Everyone that's been back at the gym, like everyone's moving pretty well, especially the experienced guys, and their movement patterns are like, they're doing everything correctly, but they just can't do it to the same capacity they were doing before. So they're scaling it down.
It's very dependent on the amount of time you have off and what skill you are looking at or what adaptation you are looking at, because it's different for lots of different types of adaptations. So, for example, for speed and explosiveness, you lose that. It goes quicker, but it can come back quicker. For like long-term strength, it takes longer to go away, but it takes longer to come back. Endurance capacity and stuff like that are the same. Like it takes longer for it to go away, but it can take longer to come back. Stuff like that. So there's a lot of different variables within that. But generally, if you take time off and you go backwards, you'll get back to those gains that you were at quicker than it took you to get there originally. Yeah. Assuming that there's no injuries or something.
Yeah. And then also like complexity of the task as well. So like obviously sports as an example, like I'll use basketball as an example. If I take a long time between having played basketball, I find that like quite hard for me to get that touch back. And then kind of more of a gym application, like doing something like an Olympic lift versus like a goblet squat, getting that skill acquisition part of the movement will be harder for something that's more complex.
Yeah.
Simon, you're very quiet there as always. What is your 2 cents?
I guess, yeah, you're all along the same sort of lines. It's probably how I feel about it as well. Like my swimming coach used to say, like, oh, you take 2 weeks off, takes 4 weeks to get back, type thing. So you always kind of like half it. But I'm not sure about the exact percent wise, but I know like once I used to take 6 weeks off for swimming, the first session back I felt awesome. The next session back I felt like shit. And then you build up.
Nice.
You come back and you touch it and you feel like really light and stuff, and then because your body, you feel so light in the water, but then the next day because your body hasn't like been exposed,
recovery capacity.
Yeah, it hasn't got that. You're fucked. I was just about to give a swimming example, like breaststroke pace. Breaststroke pace is like it was one of those things you never wanted to like stop doing your pace work as a breaststroker, because once you lost it, took freaking ages to get it back because of the complex like nature of swimming breaststroke and minimizing all that resistance and getting some propulsion behind it. It's just like it's like the biggest like mind jerk you could ever have in your life. It's just so frustrating. So you'd always try and keep doing some kind of pace work in your off time. Otherwise you just feel terrible for 6 months afterwards.
Also depends how much mass you put on as well.
It depends. Yeah, there's a lot of factors.
Especially
it depends on what
swimming.
It depends on what adaptation you're looking at and what component of fitness you're assessing. Like they all have different varies of what will affect one more in terms of getting back to it, and like how long that might take depending on what you've done. So, or how long you've had off.
Yeah, I know that like with wrestling, your capacity to recover from the physical contact, like if you take time off, the first few matches you have back, they feel shocking, and it takes you forever to get back to like you when you're feeling okay.
Getting that flow state back, yeah, like
yeah, definitely, and it's also like
I wouldn't even say flow state, like exactly what you're saying about contacts, and that's why the whole return to sport thing for something like say like wrestling or like mixed martial arts or like AFL rugby. You could do all the strength work and you can do all the like conditioning and stuff, but that body to body contact is just like a completely different stimulus.
Yeah, it's strange. Hard to emulate too.
Yeah,
especially without being actually able to do it.
You can't replicate wrestling bumps without taking wrestling bumps, right?
That's exactly right. So once you've been out of touch for a little bit,
unless you just want to start jumping on the ground on your back.
I think I'll be all right.
Doesn't sound that appetizing to anyone, really.
No.
We have
the same thing with like team sports as well. Like you can do all the like cohesion with your teammates, but also like from a conditioning point of view, you can do all the running in the world, but playing the game, there is just nothing like that conditioning. Like unless you're actually playing the game, you don't have game fitness. And like, you can ask anyone who plays like a team sport, like you can do, I had like off seasons where I did like so much running, got super fit. That first game back, I'd be up and down and I'm cooked already. Like it's just a different thing. But if you just play basketball, like all off season, come back into season, like you feel good. So,
do you think that's like got to do with efficiency as well? Especially in basketball, I imagine like the constant change in direction and like the the time that you spend sprinting versus the time that you spend kind of like treading water, as we would say. You become more efficient, like the more experience you have and the more, I guess, touch you've got over time. Because that was the same with football. Like the first game of the season, like you said, you've been running the whole off season and you got so much energy in the first game. And every time the footy's within 100 meters of you, you give it chooks toward the footy, and then you try and make it back for the next play, and you become really inefficient in like your running patterns and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm sure there'd be something down to that. Because like all like team trainers and stuff, they're all like all sports scientists, whatever, they'll try to break down like the exact percentage of how much work you're doing, what the work to rest ratio is. They'll try to get it, but there's just like there's nothing like actually playing the sport at the end of the day. And if you don't do it, you're not going to have that game/match fitness.
The best example I heard a few years ago is I was speaking to a local coach for a cricket team, and they're talking about how the bowlers, they practice from like just outside the crease, and then come first game of the season, they haven't practiced their run-ups, and they're tired. You're like absolutely cooked because they've just been practicing literally from just outside the stuff, and they haven't been doing that full run in.
Yeah. Like, that seems like an avoidable problem, though.
Just do it.
Yeah, but they also do it like in baseball. They're trying to minimize shoulder damage in the off-season.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, fair enough.
So if you're running in at full pace, you're going to throw at full pace. Therefore, you've got less throws that you can do.
Every at least practice like to run.
100%. You probably should be practicing it still in the off season before you play a game, but just it's the extent of how much you need to practice it.
Yeah.
What? Let's we've been talking. We've gone off topic. I don't even know how we got here, but I love it.
We can bring it back into like we can still talk about the same idea and bring it back into a gym sense if you want.
Yeah, that's what I was about to do, Adam. So thanks for stealing my job.
No worries.
So like, we need to give some advice for all our gym boys and girls. I've been very vocal to all our members in saying, don't cook yourself in the first session, you morons. And really, everyone's been pretty much. If you haven't been doing any barbell work, you're not doing barbell now. You won't be doing barbell next week. You might be doing it in week 3. You might be doing it in week 4, but you're probably not. And you're still going to be under the your old working max efforts. Basically, because of what we have been talking about with the deconditioning aspect, they may have still been training. And there's a big difference between training by a lot of our clients struggle to train by themselves at the work level that they would have been training at in gym. So there's still there's probably like a little bit of maintenance there, but a bit of deconditioning as well. So now it's time to kind of slowly build that up. And depending on how long they've, if they were doing something at home during the home programs, if they were moving some barbells around, if they were moving some weights around at all, will very much determine on how quickly they get back to their full training programs. So I think I just answered the whole question there without even
100%.
But what have you guys been telling your guys?
Did you pick up a barbell yesterday?
What was that?
Did you pick up a barbell yesterday?
Not at all. Didn't touch one. For that exact reason, I haven't touched a barbell for 8 weeks. I'm not going to touch one in the day I got back. And oh my golly gosh, that was so hard for me to do because normally I just go like, stuff it. I'm going to bench. Oh, I'm going to squat again. Oh, I'm going to do some deadies. Let's go, baby. But I was like, yeah, right. Do what you would tell your clients to do. Do a goblet squat. Do a floor press. Get the session done. Let's just not break yourself in the first week again. So, 18th time's the charm. Ryan has learned his lesson, it seems.
Yeah. I think it's not necessarily like don't touch the barbell, but obviously that's good advice for most people because it completely takes away that temptation. But if you really can't help yourself, then don't try do the weight that you were doing pre-lockdown because at the end of that's when you're going to injure yourself. You don't have that physical capacity unless you were someone who had a fully kitted out home gym and you were able to lift exactly the same. So it's if or more so experienced lifters who have done a lot of work with barbells prior to the whole lockdown, then I think it's the worst thing in the world for them to touch a barbell. Just be smart with your application of your intensity.
Nice. What was that?
Distracted there, right?
I know.
What's going on?
I was just looking
Looking
at
at the
pretty gym.
barbells.
I was looking at a barbell going, oh, I can touch that barbell. I'm going to touch a barbell.
Yeah, I agree with Adam. I was saying to one of the guys in the class that I did this morning, to like, you got to leave your ego at the door at this point, because if you come in and you're in a rush to get back to where you were before, you're just going to get injured. Like, you're going to get injured, and you're going to get injured probably pretty quickly. So leave your ego at the door, and basically a combination of what you guys just said. I would tend to agree with Ryan that most people should probably not touch the barbell, but like, you know, if somebody's been lifting for 10 years and they were still squatting during the lockdown period, it's exactly what Adam said. So come into the gym and just scale everything back. And there used to be a guy that trained at the warehouse gym in Freo, and he was like one of the biggest dudes in the whole gym. And I was chatting with him once, and he gave me a good analogy. He was saying that, you know, people that get called lightweights when they have like 2 beers and they're slammed. Well, he was saying that those people are actually laughing because they put in the least amount of effort and spend the least amount of money, and they get more drunk than everybody else does. And I think it's a bit the same with gym, where if you can come in and get a really good session in with limited equipment and just really basic stuff, and not smashing yourself into oblivion, and you can get results out of that, then you got to ride that horse for as long as you can, because that's a super efficient way to get back in shape, as opposed to just throwing yourself in the deep end where your quality of movement's going to suck and you're probably going to get injured.
Minimum effective dose, baby.
Yeah.
Oh, I was going to say, please check out my Instagram, just so from last week, and I did free great posts on all those kind of things. So yeah, and then Adam stole one.
I like our program.
I didn't steal it. I just expanded on the topic.
Good.
So
So
anyway, like some gyms, like you walk into the gym, like a trainer's trying to give you everything in the first session, and then you either break or there's nowhere else to go with it. Because you've given them like all the fun exercises day one, and then after a month they're bored.
Yeah.
Don't use all your tools in the toolkit just for the sake of using them. You know, use the right tool at the right time.
That's it.
Context is king.
Yeah, and also don't overcomplicate your exercises. Let's not go down that road. But we've talked about
steer clear of that one, right?
We've all agreed on everything today. We need to argue about something.
Let's not argue. I've argued enough this week. What were we talking about?
I had to argue.
Simon just brought up one of the best points. Like, if you bring people into the gym and you start using bands and like band resistance and stuff on them within, like, before they even can make like a certain strength threshold. And this is talking about what you're talking about as well, Jules. Like, you start doing that from like before they need it, you're devaluing that for their training adaptations and for the training they could have got out of their stimulus beforehand.
Yeah.
Don't rush to the fancy shit that you see like guys on Instagram doing, because they're probably like 10 to 12 years into lifting. They're already lifting like, you know, 1.5 to 2 times body weight plus, and they've been doing it for ages, and they're looking for a new stimulus because like just lifting the weight by itself isn't you know, getting them as much as they need it. So like, and also I bring it back a bit. We're going to rewind a bit. Rewind.
Jeez.
We're going to rewind it a bit. If you're going to train too hard now, it's probably going to take you longer to actually get better anyway, because you're going to be overtraining all the time. So you're not going to actually be doing anything. So your body's going to be spending so much energy and effort recovering or trying to recover and then wasting it again on another workout, that you're not going to get there quick enough.
It'll probably just be...
It'll take you longer. So take it slow. Be simple. Not like simple, like, you know, like simple Jules.
Simple
but like, keep it simple. Progress it like you would if you were a freaking noob at the start, or whatever relative to you. And you're going to get back to where you were quicker than if you started freaking trying to do your PB again.
100%.
Definitely.
You want to squeeze like every drop you can.
Yeah, baby.
Out of each part of that process. So like, you know, you can get so much out of body weight, and you can
especially when you weigh 90 kilos.
You can squeeze every last drop out of that body weight before you if you can do that before you go on to barbell, you'll be so much more better off when you get to the barbell, and you'll get better adaptations from that barbell, and you'll be able to achieve more with the barbell. Whereas if you've just gone straight to the barbell and kind of skip that body weight or like dumbbells or whatever and try to go to the most complex task, you'll just adapt to that straight away, and you wouldn't have milked as much of like the previous stimulus as you could.
Yeah. Stop. Like, yeah, it's just, and make sure that people actually cleared for the movement that they're about to perform, and they can perform it without external load, like just from a pure safety perspective. And like, you're going to get so much more out of it. Like you were saying, Adam, you're just going to get so much more out of it because you're actually doing the exercise properly. And then when you put them under load, they're going to be able to do the exercise properly under load and get the maximal effect out of it. So
Exactly.
I remember when I started doing my prac with you guys, I was with Simon one day. And he was...
Simon's worried. Look at his face.
No, it was good. He gave me some advice.
I thought he was having a post-lunch nap at that stage.
No.
I had to wake him up.
I think he was going away for a bit, and he gave me a cover, and he gave me a bit of leeway to play with the conditioning circuit at the end. But he told me, like, don't, just because you can, we all can as coaches, smash people, it doesn't mean that that they're going to get anything out of that. So he told me to make sure that I reined it in. And then when Woodford was here, he reiterated the same thing. He said that, you know, the art, science, balance, or whatever you call it, to coaching. He was saying that there's no art to smashing people, because anyone can do it. Like, my dad's 55, but he could stand in front of a group of people and tell them to do 100 squats and 50 sprints, and anyone can smash people, but there's not really an art to that. So I think that, like, it's definitely like a lot on us as well to make sure that we're giving people the right information so they can, you know, get the most out of it.
Yep, 100%. Just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to remember.
That goes for a lot of things in life.
Today. Oh yeah. Efficiency is doing things right. Effectiveness is doing the right thing.
Efficiency is doing things right.
Today.
Yeah, no.
What was that?
Very close today.
Yeah, I posted that up today.
Oh, we should have a quote of the day every time on these.
Don't be stupid. Don't overcomplicate exercises.
Keep it simple, stupid.
Simple. Keep it simple like Jules.
Simple Jules. That's my name on the thing. Did you notice?
Yeah, Simple Jules. I saw that.
Simple Jules. Keep it simple, Jules. Simon, have you got any words of wisdom to add to this fantastic conversation?
Jules quoted me, so I'm good.
I quoted Simo. So.
Circa, what year was this?
Shit, it would have been probably the first time I was in my last year of uni, which I did 3 times. So.
Man, you were on track with us for ages. Okay, before we get down that rabbit hole, good chat, guys. I think that was really good. I think we'll leave it there, because otherwise we're just going to talk about something weird, or I'm going to blow up and go crazy about something. So,
yeah, you were borderline. I was about to cut you off there.
Yeah, let's just leave it there.
You were so close.
Anyway, guys, I hope you've all enjoyed this chat between the coaches today. Jules, you are currently got something going on. Can you let the people of the world know? I know they're probably all sold out, but let them know.
Oh, yes. Sorry, I don't know what it was. Yes, I just dropped a line of, I guess, merchandise for the wrestling stuff. So a lot of the guys make some supplementary income selling merchandise, but I've always put most of my time into the S&C stuff, which is just as much of a passion. So that's my thing. But having all this time in isolation, I decided that it was probably a good time to drop some t-shirts. So I dropped 2 t-shirts that were designed by a friend of mine called John. He did a ripping job.
John.
John Markham, sorry. John Markham Designs. And they're sold through wrestlemerch.com. So you see my face on there. Everyone's been really supportive. I appreciate it, because, you know, obviously I'm not special or anything, but people buy shirts with my name on it, and it's nice. So thank you if you did buy one. I saw Komatsu's. Yeah, it does make me feel good.
All of us. I bought one. Ryan got one.
Yeah, no, it's I appreciate it a lot, because
sold out, so Simo couldn't get one.
Yeah. Obviously, this year has not been excellent. So having a little bit of support from people that you do know and people that you don't know it makes you feel all warm and fuzzy inside.
All right, and with that great bit of
That's my
introduction,
quote of the day.
guys, there will be a link that will pop up underneath Jules' name now. What will take you to his wrestling t-shirts place of worship.
Simple Jules.
His new wrestling name as he returns to EPW, Simple Jules. WrestleMerch.com. Well, I was actually going to put an actual link there, but I'll do that as well. But
how do I do that?
Thank you for listening, guys. As always, stay strong, stay safe, stay connected, and
be formidable.
Everyone's got to get a bit more passionate. You've got to get a bit more passionate about that, boys. Simon, say it. Say it, Simon. Be formidable.